What's up everyone? Welcome to the Dell Futurist presents Alienware LevelUp Challenge. I'm Shadeslayr. Joining me is OG, the low-res chicken. OG, what's up man? How are you doing?
Well, a slow start of the day. Have been relaxing quite a bit, getting into my mojo. Had a little bit of an oiling session as well in the morning, so I'm doing great, Shade. How about you?
I'm doing awesome as well, man. Super excited. We're about to start with day 3. Dell Futurists are young and ambitious minds who aspire to build a future, basically converting their passion into a career. They are inspired by leaders who help them nurture their skills and bring their passion out and pretty much make that centered around their entire life. If you have a dream to do what you love, then go ahead and register with us to kickstart your journey and have a passionable future. This need not necessarily be around gaming alone. Even if you're interested in music, arts, or sustainability, go ahead and register with Dell Futurist. Back to the match ahead of us, Knights versus Monarchy, we're also known as 4A's Gaming, is upon us. Dust2's the map. What are your expectations from this match, OG?
Well, we have seen Monarchy quite a bit lately, but I feel like this is going to be a fairly close one. I see both these teams are relatively evenly matched, and it's Dust2, a map that I doubt any of these players aren't accustomed to. It's going to be coming down at the wire like the previous Dust2 game we did see in the tournament, and I hope that going forth we have a lot of these teams who might not be as well known, but hey, in terms of talents, they are evenly matched and they are ready to prove themselves in the scenario.
Yeah, I'm super hyped as well. But before we jump into the game, for all you fans out there, there's a brand new Alienware laptop as well as a Dell Gaming G Series laptop coming out later this week. So to stay updated on all that information, go ahead and follow Dell India and Alienware on all their social pages on Facebook as well as on Instagram for more updates on that. Also, for all the viewers out there who are looking to pretty much take up gaming and pursue a career in it, go ahead and check out all the mentor sessions that are there on the Dell India and Alienware Instagram pages as well to stay up to date on what are the opportunities in the world of gaming and esports. They're just waiting on the game to start. Dust2, again, we've seen a lot of Dust2, Mirage and Inferno over the last few days, OG, and most of these matches haven't been close affairs, and some of the fault, of course, is down to the opponents not really calling timeouts and trying to break the momentum of the opponents. Let's see if that is about to change here in day 3. We are counting down the timer. Let's jump straight into the action. Game 1 of the day, Knights versus 4A's Gaming. OG, take it away.
Well, it's going to be nice starting off on the CT side. A pretty unconventional setup. They have relied more towards the aggression towards LT fanning out, and with the cover provided through top mid, it's going to be all the more chaotic because it's just going to be straight up Angels taken towards mid. Peak taken. It looks like Knights are in complete control. Mervin tagged down relatively low, and now they disengage off the 2-man advantage. Pretty good stuff coming in from Knights. Now, are the T-side going to be able to reply is the question. They're regrouping. 2 men towards shot, the bomb all by its lonesome coming towards long. Cat. Oh, beautiful headshot with the P2000 and Scatter. Just scattering their ashes all across short. It's a massacre, Shade. It's all that on a heady. A 1 versus 4. Beautiful job in the second, though. Mervin tagged relatively low. It's going to be a relatively hard clutch. And it seems like he's against insurmountable odds. 1-0 Knights. They start off really good on the CD side pistol. I love the aggression we're seeing here, Shade. A lot of confidence coming out early.
Indeed, there is. Knights off to a strong start on the pistol. Courtesy aggression coming in through upper tunnels. We saw them rush through, get that early frag in as well. A lot of aggression up at mid and short. Completely forcing the T's on the defensive early in the round, getting those crucial opening frags, and early Molotov towards upper tunnels means the T's are gonna have to change their strat up a bit. Looks like they were looking at a swift B hit, but I think the time has passed for this and they're gonna have to play this low and try and get some pickoffs.
Yeah, the only potential pickoff I see here is Mervin, considering he has Tech Knights and Magnums against him, not a long time before he does reach his eventual device, although they are holding on. I'm surprised that the T's haven't considering just running them down an alley. The backstab coming in as well. This is going to be absolutely brutal shade. Seeing a CT side as aggressive as this is really refreshing. You don't see many teams do this, right? When you have two evenly matched teams, you see them give a lot of respect and discipline first and priority. But here it's just asserting dominance and trying to get into that mental game where you're like, even if you're standing on your own turf, you're still at risk. Knights certainly proving that as well. Doing it both in the pistol and the follow-up, which is going to cost the T-side significant rounds early. So Knights have a chance to build a lot of momentum early on and potentially shut down.
CFO's dropped outside of B though, and all CTs are in position guarding this. Heady drops the flashbang, but how is he gonna get individual duels here? With 8 seconds remaining, this is done. He's gonna have to hang on to the FAMAS here and call the save early. Knights take the second round, but a shaky anti-eco there and unfortunate.
Did he die post time? Oh, he did.
He did.
Oh boy, that's gonna hurt more. I was gonna say it's good that he has the FAMAS now. If he can commit to the save, he'll have a weapon headed to the next round, which he can do damage in, and he'd still be able to recover. Right now, it's become all the worse because he's headed into this round with no money and no gun except for the Glock. So it's gonna cost a lot for Ace Gaming because they won't have that economy early on, which is super important in the Dust 2. You need to be able to maintain that buddy system, and there needs to be a lot of utility going alongside the buddy system. Lots of flashes towards long, a couple of smokes to make sure you get through short and towards LT safely. What a shot! That's absolutely disgusting, Shade. Knights somehow again find the advantage, and for Ace Gaming, they're on complete eco here, so they're not headed into this round with a round victory in mind. A bomb plan is what they're expecting, but the openings, let's see if Nats are going to give it away to them. Because sometimes playing aggressive is good, but against pistols, you'd like to keep your distance, right? You wouldn't like to close down that range where the P250, the CZ, and the Eagle can absolutely dumpster you regardless what you do.
The spot out, they do manage to win the opening duel out, but at this moment the numbers are thin at best for Ace Gaming, and they're looking to force the issue here towards short. Long Cat is already in position as well, so.
Ooh, the dink. Nothing to follow up though. The scalp finish. Mervin. It looks a little iffy. Cat knows he's dead low. He has cover that's coming at him through sight. SK though, falling back. 67 HP and a FAMAS. Not much he could do with this even if he does commit to a save, so any kind of damage is certainly going to be great. The deagle out, but not the kill. 3-0 Knights. They lose 2 men in this round, which will make it a little expensive, Shade. These are the rounds going in where you need to keep as many members alive. The CD side economy, often the harder side to manage. If in those rounds you do not maintain, let's say, a 4-man alive scenario by the end of the round, it's going to cost you later on in the half where it's going to get very heated. And we've seen games like this, Shade, where the momentum just sways. And the economy generally is a huge reason for that sway.
Indeed, OG. Right now, the buy round coming in for Ace Gaming. They're going to go with the AWP, and early aggression towards upper tunnels stopped, at least for now. Counter utility from the CTs. Damage taken by Doom as the nades come funneling in towards upper tunnels there, but Scattershot is in a good position. The flashbang, in fact, blinds Kira first. He peeks
it. No, that was just a meme in the making, Shade. I mean, the support light didn't choose him, so Might just be due to that. That was an opening that Knights were gifted to get back into this one, and they've disengaged as well. Now a 4 versus 4 with Doom being so low on HP, it's starting to favor Knights as the seconds pass, and the rotation's already there, Shade. Perfect distraction, ball, the footsteps, but not the kill. Scattershot needs to come a massive hides behind that smoke, and he gets the kill and a significant amount of damage done. The B defense is strong, and there is simply no way they're getting past this wall. They might get sent packing here, Shade. Doom needs to come up absolutely massive, but he goes down the coffin. Knights. It came down to how they approach that round on the T side, Shade. They're going single file. Even when they get that frag, there always needs to be that crate that's in there, which right now looked almost non-existent. That flash at doors was the beginning of the undoing for Ace Gaming in that round.
And the finesse with which the smokes need to be thrown also came into play right there. That small opening at the edge, Scattershot is able to use every inch of it and find the opener, ensuring that 4A's Gaming don't really find a way back in. But
Ooh.
and then characteristic was Clad. Now that's twice that he's lost that duel right there.
I like this play from Cat though. Cheeky stuff, without a doubt. A B defense really being tested in the past few rounds, Shade, and Knights have given us no reason to doubt their B defense as of yet. For Ace Gaming, this is merely a round with Deagle, so they are looking to do more damage, and damage is what they are going to inflict. They have the man advantage as well with the M4 on the hands. Oh, no, Scattershot! That was something that he just simply could not afford to miss. And now they've doubled down on their luck, Shade for Ace Gaming with a 2-man advantage and an AWP on the hands of Doom. We've seen Doom with the AWP, and boy, is it something that Knights are going to regret now if they lose this round. They do have kits here. Utility is going to be non-existent, in fact. With the man disadvantage, they better start covering grounds fast as they lack refrag potential. They need to be on point with their aim game. Engagement taken. Cat needs to come up huge here. It's only Doom with that off towards pit, but this is the perfect position. Beautiful flick, but the defuse is in. A simple case of not having a communication right can cost you massive, and this costs 4A's Gaming. They're not only their potential first round in this matchup, but also a significantly important round as Knights were going up against only Deagles. This would have completely dumpstered them in the first half, Shade.
It would have indeed, man. And 4A's Gaming 4v2 post-plant situation. That went horrendously wrong for them right there. And yeah, it's gonna take quite a bit of mental strength to be able to reset from that OG. That was their first round. That was their ticket back into this match. A beautiful flick in, but
the white swing punish.
the tag as well.
This is why I love Dust 2, Shade. This is the stuff that we are talking about. Easy. Not as easy as it's been throughout the half. Now with 3 versus 4, it's still doable here. But this is where things get heated. This is where Knights get completely activated. Clad playing beautifully on the back of that distraction by the sky, but he's still not able to land that bag. The bomb not picked up as of yet. They're playing in very iffy positions here, Sheik, because as soon as SK gets discovered, he's done. There's no escape from it for him.
And the C4 is now dropped, and SK is gonna have to go on the offensive here. He does not have time on his side. 40 seconds remaining, and is heading up through mid. The CTs are actually going on the hunt. They're not sticking around the C4, and this might give an opportunity back into this.
Oh.
Scratch that. Mervin. His presence alone there was more than enough, OG.
Exactly, Shade. You know the one part I'm loving about Knights? Their defense towards mid, that bait and switch setup, just completely dumpstered what 4A's Gaming were going for this round. I'm assuming that they wanted to contest towards mid and A shot relatively early, hence the early mid control. But Knights simply don't allow it, and what a shot! We've been missing this all game, Shane, and finally we are getting
Oh,
to
there's the smoke and the push through,
Oh.
and they come in with the numbers. The absolute best thing they could have done there. But
Yeah.
looks like 7th round. This is it. They're calling the save here. Knights,
the
they're
one
backing
planet
away.
on the B side really can't afford to retake this shade. Knights, hey, they won the past 6 rounds in succession, but look at their bank. This is why I say that the economy is one of the most important aspects to maintain during a tournament game, because we've seen how momentum keeps swaying across these games, where initially coming into the game, 10 minutes in, you're thinking, guys, this is our game. We got this. We are owning. When you don't have guns, suddenly you can't own anymore. You lose your confidence, you lose that momentum, you lose that heat that you came in packed with, which ultimately might even cost you a tournament life, especially in tournaments such as these, where single elimination are a thing of monsters in both online and best of 1 CS.
First round on the board for 4A's Gaming, and Knights, they get undone by something as simple as the smoke onto the Molotov there, and they just straight up rush through just the one CT. And they've been doing this quite a bit, Knights. And 4A's Gaming, they finally found the chink in the armor there, and they say, hey, we shouldn't really be waiting out these utilities and instead take them on the offensive. Catch the good spray down, finds the first and almost the second. But meanwhile, SK has found 2 kills himself, make that a third, and Cat is just going to get overwhelmed up on the A side. Too many angles to worry with. 3 kills for SK, and Knights, looks like it's a call to save again. 4A's Gaming making a statement and a comeback into this best of 1 round of 128 match, OG.
Yeah, the prophecy is true again, Shade. The momentum swing always acting as the hidden hands behind these matches. It makes it quite more interesting, right? For Ace Gaming now being able to stand up against Knights. These fast, decisive calls they're making are completely catching Knights off guard. With their split game, they've not allowed Knights to get aggressive on multiple avenues, where they poke towards one end, they're ready to cut towards the other as well. That's what they've proven, and so far, it's working. 6-2. They have a lot more ground to cover before they reach the equalizer, but hey, it's a start, right? It's a push towards the right direction. Let's see how far they can push, because Knights, around where they eco and their economy should be set straight. They could even fancy a double up setup towards the next round. They've taken the time out, something that we've been advocating quite a bit, and I'm really happy that they are more than happy to have open years, because now being mentally reset means the world to them. They're going to enter a round with a couple of maybe MP9s or Deagles, try to damage 4A's Gaming as much as they can in terms of economy. But you can see that 4A's Gaming, the 2 rounds that they won it in such an effective way that their economy is just soaring sky high, which even for Knights, after winning 6 rounds back-to-back, they could not do.
Well, 6-2, the buy, far from ideal here. Just a few upgraded pistols. They do, however, have the saved AK and armor onto Mervin. So if they do manage to win a couple of early duels here, maybe muscle a rifle or 2 away from 4A's Gaming, they have a chance back into this. But props to the T's here. They've been able to swing things around in their favor. They're winning a lot of these early duels thanks to just straight up playing the early round fast. This time around, they're going to slow things down, knowing for a fact that the CTs might be looking to go on the offensive themselves. Thanks to the inferior weaponry, Cat has got an all to do there. Got T heading his way. He's going to find absolutely nothing. The AK up at B is going to be put to test.
Oh no.
And he gets...
Yeah, it's the absolute worst case scenario for Knights, and it's all left on to one deagle of IC. Doubt he'd survive any longer. Perhaps 2 kills and he would do his fair share of damage, I'd assume. But so far, Forest Gaming have been very disciplined, Shade. This is something that I'm really starting to appreciate from the T side. They're not going greedy after maybe 1 kill or 2 kills. For all you know, they have deals up against them, so there's no need for risking it, which has clearly shown how great the rewards can be, right? This game is a very good testament to that. You see, easy. They are able to maintain a really good economy. They're able to keep the momentum as strong as you can. Because right now, even if Knights win a round, by any circumstance, 4A's Gaming will be able to reinvest. They will be able to equally contest the next round and prevent Knights from stringing rounds together where they'll get the economy turn and momentum shift in general. So, beautiful stuff coming out from the T side so far. Doom has been beautiful with the op. He's been a very consistent figure for Ace Gaming so far in the tournament, and the aggressive shot push. This is what we like to see, Shade. No comes from the backlines, and Mervin. Beautiful stuff for Ace Gaming, completely caught off guard. Just trying to pick up the AK here, being as cheeky as he can. Did not retrieve it though, and he should retreat from that position, in fact. For Ace Gaming, they've tried to regain control here. They're stabilizing. It's a 3v5, grouping up together, deciding how this round might go, because all you know is a couple of frags and they're right back in. Make it a 2 versus 4, make it a 2 versus 3. It's still possible for the T side to win out of numbers disadvantage than the CT. Just due to the fact that it's easier for the T side to play objective.
They're looking to rotate back towards short here right now. Clad can hear the rotations come through and looks like they're going to charge through with the flashbangs. No, they don't. Clad in the corner is wide open and he's able to find 2 frags, and it's just the one remaining T who gets taken out. Icy with the AWP from window cleans it up, and Knights take the round to 7-3 OG. For Ace Gaming, that round's on them.
That rounds is entirely on them. But again, Shade, look at the economy now. They still could invest the buy theoretically next round if they do lose. They have the backup on Doom. They have as much margin for error, right? Where they'll feel that comfort, and with comfort comes confidence. Where 4A's Gaming take the blatant rush towards a long scatter shot. Oh, that looked like a flake that he would hit. Just an inch off. Cat trying to retaliate, forcing the fight through the smoke, but Kira clotheslines him. The double spray through CT and short does take Kira down, and it is a man disadvantage that Knights are fighting from. They're regrouping though. Everybody gonna be on the back lines? This is questionable. Alright, 2 people towards long, which is both the M4s, while the solo op tries to spearhead its efforts towards short, which is not really the best of call, because you would not like to leave an offer alone. Grabs the spray, could have connected onto the boat, and Doom, the op setup towards long prevails, and SK takes him down with the 7-4 Knights. Where they started off the half really, really good. 4A's Gaming are swinging right back in the game now.
That was Knights there with a questionable retake attempt. They got a good look at the T's out at long, and a couple of huge misses. One with the AWP, second with an uncharacteristic miss on the spray. You cannot miss those in a professional setting like this, OG. You're not going to get too many opportunities like that. And Knights, the money's broken. He's just Clad alone on the B side, and as soon as he goes down, this round is pretty much done for. Smokes are going to keep the T's pinned in. It's just a formality at this moment. IC should get cleaned up momentarily. And 4A's Gaming, 5th round on the board. That lead is down to a mere 2 rounds now, OG.
Well, just like we expected, Shade, this game is getting close to the wire, and I absolutely love it. Oh, I thought we might see the slice and dice. Does get the kill with the USP, wants to take safety's route. Knows that there could be a man lurking through CT, but Kira is just too precise. 7-5, for Ace Gaming, making their way back in the first half with a very, very strong message. Right now, it seems like all it took was a few rounds for Ace Gaming to get accustomed to how Knights are playing, right? Knights came out with a very aggressive start, even from the pistol round where they pushed 2 towards short and 1 man through mid to LT. That is something that you never really see in pistols unless there's a very confident side on the CT. Harry cannot get the entry this time around. Mervin slams down the M4 and mows them to a crisp. Oh, I see. That might have been 4H's way back into the round, because if they found the opening where they could easily just pressure the B defense. Luckily, he held on to the man to the 2-man advantage, in fact. And they plan to re-aggress. This is not something that you usually see from many teams at CT. I really love the fact that Knights are being so proactive in their CT rotations that it's almost very hard for 4A's Gaming to decide if what the call they're gonna make is gonna be live, is it gonna work, or is it just gonna be a mow down? Because they've been very, very rotative throughout the entire map. It's something that you don't see from many teams. Mervin, flash setup, but the kill does not come in. Now with the man disadvantage, 4A's Gaming potentially could set for an after plan with Kira trying to play bait and potentially trying to tilt the tides in the favor of 4A's Gaming. Icy though, pushing all the way. Kira had no inkling as to the man through CT, where I doubt he would have heard that. Doom now left in an undoable 1 versus 3.
And that with the AWP, the absolute worst weapon to do so. They're just playing the bait and switch till Cat pushes up. They're going to recover the big green as well. Knights with the retake, but 4A's Gaming looked all over the place there post-plant OG.
Exactly, Shade. It felt a little questionable, especially due to the fact that Cat had no clue that there could be a man lurking at CT. More importantly, they had no kind of real estate secured for the post plant. Even if you're down by a man, it's very crucial that you maintain control towards, let's say, short, where you plan the bomb for short, you have control of short, you can play with 1 man towards side and play off each other in that circumstance. So please make it a little more doable, where if every man is towards the side, it creates a lot of problems. And now with the rush towards B, 4A's Gaming might just be right back in and glad the spray. It actually connects on her too, but only the ding. I see though with the op buying them the man advantage, missing the flick, and he's down 11 HP. He is surviving by a lifeline here, and I'll be playing aggressive. This is mad stuff. The flash, the peek, scatter shot. He has the entire gallery offered in front of him, but he could only get 1. Now with a man disadvantage, Icy down 11 HP. Almost a non-factor headed into this retake. It's gonna be on Cat and Mervin to try and get this refrag. Get as much done as little as possible. Cat, the spray doesn't connect. Icy in a 1 versus 1 with the op. He's positioned himself only for 1 peek, and Doom's not buying in. Icy, the flick. What?
He makes it happen there. Icy hits a really nutty shot there to give Knights their 9th round. What a CT retake. On the B side, one of the hardest sites to retake, but Knights there, they got the early look and they decide to go on the offensive. Good flash setups for the CTs to actually go ahead and peek in through the doors. They get the frags necessary, and Icy steps up huge in that 1v1 situation, and Knights all set to close out the first half with a significant lead.
That entry from Kira, seeing it from Icy's perspective, it just looked like he had no fear in his eyes. What an explosive start of the round for Ace Gaming. A much needed round considering that they can't allow Knights to hit double digits. Cat, oh, he's hurt and he's spotted. Kira, with a kill at CT, he will know for a fact that rotations are going to be delayed. And now with the commitment towards B, Cat, the flash, it's almost telegraphed as to what the play is. Kira turns around, downs him, and Clad, he's the only line between chaos and order. 4 Knights at the B side. He cannot get a single kill. Rather, it's 4A's Gaming denying Knights double digits and making this a very, very interesting half, Shade. I have not seen a game this tense in quite the while, and I absolutely enjoy this momentum roller coaster that we're in right now.
And what a way to finish off the half as well. Sending a strong message across for Ace Gaming with the flawless round after losing a very tight round previously. 9-6, the all-important pistol here. Knight starting off on the T side, uncontested A long. They're going to be offered one for free. As
Yeah, but the bonus all the way at B tunnels. I'm trying to figure out what the plan is here. Are they trying to sell a fake? Perhaps Kira, USD might have just gotten himself a lateral. SK easy. No wonder he got that name, Shade. Just rips them apart a new one, and 4A's Gaming. Boy, are they looking determined to get this game back under their palm. Knights, they started off the first half real good, but ever since then, it's been a nightmare for them. On the T side, almost on the verge of taking the pistol down. Clad, he needs to come up with something absolutely magical here, given 1v1s, but SK Easy, the quad kill on the pistol. Have you seen anything else like this, Shade? It's beautiful.
the T's weren't ready for the duo aggression up at short. They get the first kill, but weren't they ready? And in what way for SK stepping up huge there, the 3K up at short. And 4Ace Gaming take the pistol. And they're right back in this match, OG. Knights on a hard eco. They've not invested into upgraded pistols or utility. So they're probably just going to sit it out, wait for the CT aggression. And if it doesn't come with 30 seconds remaining, we might just see them go for this A-long rush.
Exactly, Shade. Right now, Knights are expecting 4A's Gaming to play a little aggressively, perhaps get caught off guard, which 4A's Gaming certainly aren't. IC does put one to its mid, and it's going to be like what we saw yesterday, Shade, with Mirage, where that 20-second apps drop, it was pretty quick end to the T side. I'm expecting the same here as well. 4A's Gaming, they know for a fact that there is nobody contesting towards mid, and Revs here's everyone towards long as well. The rotations are going to chime in, and this is just going to be a bloodbath in the favor of 4A's Gaming. The flash, it's dodged, but not by everybody. Kira, though, just absolutely reigns in the pain. The MP9 put to the best of use, and Kira has been having quite the day, Shade. 14 kills on him, Doom with 14 as well, SK with 16, 4 of them netted with the first half pistol. 4A's Gaming certainly having a resurgence here, and they know as well, Shade, this is going to be do or die. I really love the fact that they took those timeouts earlier to recompose themselves, and the discipline that they've been having on the T side. If they maintain it on that CT side, Shade, it's going to be darn near impossible for Knights to try and break the momentum that 4A's Gaming are going to come in with.
Well, they're going to take early control of short here, and they're contesting with 2 CTs. They're running into the same problems again. Kira with the 2K, and this gun round might have just finished even before it sees the light of day, OG. And they're not done with the aggression. They're just going to keep pushing. They need to be careful that they don't give away a few frags for free and give a free pass for Knights back into this round.
And just to put a small highlight on this round, SK with the absolutely brilliant Molotov. What that Molotov essentially did is deny Knights the refrag, which allowed the player at shot, if I'm not wrong, Kira, to mow both the players down. Brilliant stuff. This is what you call fast brains, Shade. Fast brains equals big plays, I suppose, because right now 4A's Gaming, they're making quite the big play getting onto the equalizer as Knights once looked in cruise control, now it look like they're just being cruised across the map and not being given any control of the game whatsoever. It's been a while from since they even had the taste of sweetness. Let's hope that this doesn't become something far too sour. Doom All he wanted was the spot, but classic setup for this kill. SK in the nick of time with the peak, and now the disadvantages just keep tumbling on him. They are lucky to return fire, but for how long is the question, Shade? For Ace Gaming, keeping 3 members up. Their economy is still not at a point where it's blossomed, but they are certainly giving Knights a run for their money.
They are indeed, OG. 9-9. We're back to even Stevens. I believe for the first time in this half, as Knights did get off to a very good start initially. 6 consecutive rounds, but since then, we've seen 4Ace Gaming step it up big. And now they've actually taken 4 rounds. Okay, scratch that. It's been 4Ace Gaming taking 4 rounds on the trot, OG. 3 in this half. The T's, looking at their money, they're gonna have to settle for just the pistols this time around. In fact, just a couple of upgraded pistols to flashbangs. Is this an early long take with a couple of flashes? It is. Doom's got a flashbang himself and he's got it down, but he can't land the initial spray down. They're going to continue to chase this. Kira holds the fort down and just about misses the T's, taking a peek. A wide peek from Doom. Doesn't really matter. He cleans up onto 2 and that should pretty much be the round done and dusted right there, OG.
Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy goes the old Saints, Shade, and at least for now, for Ace Gaming, their A-side defense follows that to perfection. Knights not given much room to breathe. Scash up with a good kill, and mind you, Cat is in kissing distance of Rev's death. Revs needs to be a little wary as to how much he can cred towards short. He has taken the passive stance now, and for Ace Gaming, at least temporarily, out of imminent danger. For Ace Gaming now take the lead, Shade, I think it might be something a little too hard for Knights to overcome. I feel like they need another timeout and they need to try exploiting long. What for Ace Gaming have been trying to do is they've been trying to prioritize it right. What in turn you as a T-side player could do is you can take swift control of long, try to play fast towards A side. Having information that there will be players towards short means that you have one of 2 options. Keep a late lurk towards short or completely molly and smoke it off. Get control of long, plan for long, play for the post plant. If the bomb does go down now though, it's going to be of significant importance because they could afford the op comfortably. They still can on scatter shot. Utility is going to be a little absent though. But I feel like this is going to be the obvious punish. If not, maybe a rush towards B, but they are susceptible to an easy LT flank if not done wisely, Shade. There's a lot of things that Knights need to look out for, and there's a lot of things that 4Ace Gaming have been doing and still can do on their CT side.
Well, right now, Knights, they need to find a way to change the dynamic of this game, else 4Ace Gaming are going to continue to run away with this. They have taken the lead and seem to be very comfortable now on the CT side. Knights, like you said, needed to go for early long control and they have taken that, but they're going to leave only IC here as we do see a huge rotate to T-spawn. They're going to try and poke at B. We haven't seen Knights try and challenge 4Ace Gaming as much on the B side until this point, but they do have a decent bit of utility here to try and put Hedy in an uncomfortable position. He, however, does have backup with SK, who's been on top of his game this entire second half, OG.
Certainly, Shade. Knights, it's not been looking that pretty for them. The defensive Molotov still on the belt of Hedy, but he chooses to hold on to it. Rather, he's using his teammate as bait. Clad! Beautiful entry towards the B side. Spray transfers into Hedy's head. Mervin, that is his chance. That is his chance to close this round shot. Luckily, I see some touching distance to regain control. And it's all left on a Doom. A chaotic round for Ace Gaming. Knights finally replying back, Shade. Is this the round that puts Knights back up on the train? Because damn, we've seen the exact same thing from 4A's Gaming on the east side. There's no reason why Knights cannot replicate that.
And it was almost on the same setting as well, OG, that push through upper tunnels towards the B side, set up with the flashbang. And 4A's Gaming, they got a little too comfortable on the B side. SK even rotating out very early, leaving just the solo CT in position, and the one flashbang is the undoing there for 4A's Gaming. Back to level terms, 10 and 10, and it is the CT's turn to jump on the pistols.
Yeah, I commended 4A's Gaming heavily for when they were able to maintain their economy on the T side, but now it seems like they can't repeat that brand on the CT. Revs does take command horribly low. This could be massive. Hero with 2 kills, and he has the AK up for grabs. A nade as well in case he could go for the follow-up. Beautiful nade. Wait, what?
I think they're just about overshot there.
Shade? This game is absolutely delightful at times. Sometimes when you are on the recipient, you'll be like, God bless that name, thank you. How many times have you had that experience, Shade? Just the outright experience of being CSGO'd.
Well, I must say, I've had a fair share of those not go in my way, and you just feel frustrated at that point in time. But you gotta put it behind you, else you're gonna let that pretty much dictate the rest of the match heading your way. But right now, it's all up to Doom. He's alone. He's got a world of keys heading his way, and he whiffs the initial spray.
Oh no, from back to worse, Mervin finds SK. It's all left on a heady. He has the AK here, has an ample amount of utility, but he's gonna go on the save, Shade. We've jinxed it yet again. Knights gonna be on the pain train now because they have just ridden the CT defense with so much doubt. You can see it right in the way 4A's Gaming are rotating, a slight miscommunication as well. There are problems here, and 4A's Gaming need to start addressing them. A timeout perhaps should be what's on the table. Boy, this is gonna be one interesting game, Shade. We've been waiting for a game like this for quite a while. Now, it's literally gonna come down to round on round on round, where even the slightest of kills make that big of a difference, Shade. 4A's Gaming now not only need to have their priorities set straight in terms of winning rounds and in a very dominant fashion, they also need to worry about how they're going to approach towards the middle round. Because we've seen on multiple occasions, 4A's Gaming have been a little hesitant with their defensive utility. They've not been using the best in terms of Molotovs and smokes. Exactly what I was speaking of, Shade. You're just going to allow the CT side to get dumpstered like this. Eddie, the smoke used to perfection at least for now. Diop, he knows he can aggress at the back of this. The go! Mervin! Beautiful stuff with the AWP, but he still ends up going down. He makes this a double 2 versus 3 to SK, like slowing the hedgehog, making his way up towards the window ASAP, but he is denied. 4A's Gaming behind the line of control. Smoke towards upper tunnels, but there is no flashbangs. Both the players from Knights are going to be defending towards the site, and they're just going to take this as aim deals. They're not even interested to plant the bomb right now. They know that the push is going to come, and Doom letting his teammate go down without a single refrag. He's waiting. He's buying time for Revs. But the more time he gives Revs, is the more imminent it's going to be that the push is towards upper tunnels. Distraction not bought just yet. This has gone from really good to questionable for Ace Gaming. The backstab. Revs is good on the first. Scatter shot. Beautiful clutch. A 1 versus 2 comes alive when his team needed it the most, not allowing the momentum to be reclaimed. Knights set themselves up to potentially send 4A's Gaming home and packing.
12 to 10 in favor of the Knights there. They make that 2v3 count at the end. Came down to pretty much their one CT pushing in without a trade frag possibility there. He goes down for absolutely nothing in the 1v1 situation. Scattershot steps up to the quickly towards B, and just the one, no trades in place. Akira shouldn't be able to find much. He does get a couple of shots into the face, and he's able to make Good with that CZ, gets the second. He's going to continue to force.
What a madman! Oh, if he got that kill on the cloud, it would have been done and dusted right there and then, Shade. But it's again 4A's Gaming on mere pistol, not even armor, to try and give them a little bit of safety. The HP on Knights is so dead low. The only problem is Revs have nothing to try and deal any kind of damage. It's only sticks and stones.
One
They have broken
flashbang.
the bones.
He has
Yeah,
one
one
flashbang.
flashbang.
Let's see if he's going to try and go for this. I believe he's just setting up for exits right now. He's going to get the one free kill.
Yeah, that's good. That's good from Revs because it keeps the economy of Knights under question for quite a while. If he's able to get an AK, it would have been the icing on top of the cake, but that's not going to be what's for serving. 13 and 10 Shade. Knights with a huge resurgence in the second half, putting themselves on the verge of potentially taking this game home and knocking 4A's Gaming out of the tournament. But it's all going to be dictated by this round, Shade, because 4A's Gaming coming in with what might be one of their final gun rounds. And the buy, it has a lot of utility missing, Shade. Only one Molotov on the CT side. That's not nearly enough. SK going down. The trade favors Knights, and they're going to continue with the momentum as they bring on the Armageddon towards the A side. ICP, confident and strong, deals a critical blow to Kira. This might be it, Shade. Revs coming up massive at the A side. He could get the third. Scattershot going to force the issue. Knights are still in it, a 2 versus 2. They've kicked the momentum up a notch, and 4A's Gaming, they are in proximity to respond. A flank from long as well. Doom, he needs distraction from Hetty. Lining up the flashbang. Doom gonna be on the peak at any moment. The smoke buys him a little bit of cover, but it's left Scattershot with an all to do 1 versus 2. Perfect distraction bought by Hetty. Doom nails him to the piece of wood. 13-11. 4A's Gaming still in it, boys. They are absolutely doing it here. Knights, their economy is it's a little weird. Scattershot's sitting on 16 grand while 3 of his teammates approach bankruptcy. They will be able to reinvest without a doubt, Shade, but 4A's Gaming still have a lot of work to do before things get comfortable for them.
A ton of work to do indeed. Knights in that 2v2 situation. I thought that was going to be curtains for 4A's Gaming, but that 2v2 retake is massive, and they're going to go for a fast play here. Hetty is going to have to step up massive for 4A's Gaming. There's nothing to be had. Kira, he's going to get pushed back real soon here unless he can reply back. That's the absolute worst case scenario for 4A's Gaming. They've lost 2 players early, and Mervin, the absolute best player to be waiting on the backstab here, OG.
Oh, he's made a little bit of noise though, and I think SK has heard that. He briefly peeks towards mid, downs him. If there's a flash follow-up, this could just turn the tide, Shade. Revs through the smoke, he finds that killer. 3 versus 3. It's under Pandemonium towards the B side. Scattershot to return thanks to Sanity as he buys them the man advantage. It's all left on our Doom, but this is Doom to begin with. 4A's Gaming, the strat they used in the first half to bring the momentum back in their side, used against them. This is the taste of your own medicine, and I doubt you'll like it. Doom, 2 kills, but the round is done and dusted. Knights at 14. 4A's Gaming, their buy, it is virtually non-existent. An MP9 out of all weapons in the hands of Kira, Shade. Things just could not have gotten worse.
It's looking pretty bleak right now for 4A's Gaming. Knights,
That looked
however,
like it.
their A hits and the B hits have been light years apart. Their A hits have almost always ended in disaster, and they're gonna head towards the A this time around. Though they are going up against slightly inferior weaponry in just these SMGs, but blind as a bat. Scattershot still hits a nasty shot in, and this is gonna pretty much be done, at least for this round. Kobe downtown. 4 match points coming up for Knights in 4A's Gaming. The B defense has been unlocked. Their A defense just gets undone as well. Their money is dwindling at the moment, and so is their hopes of staying in this tournament.
Certainly, Shade. I'm still a little baffled as to why 4A's Gaming have not called a single timeout in the second half. They really need to mentally recompose themselves. It feels like they lost their composure along the way, right? Especially in the second half, things have been looking real shaky ever since their initial success. Preps, MP9, good to good range, but not to good use, though. It's only given the dink on a clad, which takes it down to 29 HP. This is for OT or all the marbles. Shade. Knights are in touching distance of the finish line. For Ace Gaming, a man disadvantage. Utility almost none. Hetty, the flash is gonna be coming through the sky at any moment. Position given away, disengages, but Clad knows exactly where he's playing from. In fact, Zicey, with the quick swing that downs him, the flash does bind Kira, and they need a secondary one, but there is none. Doom just trying to test his luck. There is none. 16-11, Knights with an absolutely beautiful second half and a return to the game.
Well, OG, that was a very close game, a lot of back and forth, but Knights stepping up at the end there. They pretty much pulled off what 4A's Gaming did to turn things around in their favor in the first half, and just those B hits time and again, just the sheer utility blinding the CTs on the way. And 4A's Gaming, they were a couple of rounds on the wrong side, having just the one CT towards B, and that cost them dearly. The momentum shift was enough. Knights eventually were able to confidently push through A as well, forcing match point and that B hit at the end, closing things out 16-13. Congratulations to Knights as they move on to the round of 64 in the Dell Futurist presents Alienware LevelUp Challenge. I'm Shadeslayer. That is OG, the low-res chicken. Any final thoughts on that matchup?
I feel like 4A's Gaming, the one area they potentially could work on the CT side is the use of defensive utility. We saw on, if I'm not wrong, about 4 to 5 rounds on the B defense where they had Molotovs, but you never really saw them put it to good use. If they do get the defensive utility under their belt, I feel like they have almost everything else under the bag. The T-side economy was really well maintained, and I think everything else would have been on par. Knights, they had that minor edge, which gave them the advantage. And hey, in tournaments as cutthroat as these, you always need to be with the advantage. You always need to have an ace up your sleeve, Shade, which 4A's sadly didn't have today.
Yeah, with that, we're going to take a quick break. For all you gaming fans out there, if you're looking to pursue a career in gaming and turn your passion into a career, go ahead and register for the Dell Futurist program for all the updates. Do check out their mentor sessions as well, which are live on the Instagram handles for Dell India and Alienware. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back shortly with more CSGO action. Don't go anywhere. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Dell Futurist presents Alienware LevelUp Challenge. I'm Shades here. Joining me is OG, the low-res chicken. The second match is just about to begin. We have players going up against VECTORZ on Overpass. Predictions, OG?
Well, it is Overpass, so I think it might be a little bit of a landslide victory, but I'm going to keep this optimistic. Let's keep it as a 16-9 victory. I think I might favor VECTORZ in this situation here.
Yeah, relatively new teams. Looking at the names as well. A couple of names on the side of PlayMakerS. So I'm gonna just to keep things interesting, support PlayMakerS this time around. And yeah, on Overpass, the slightly CT-sided match up right here. We've not gotten to see much of Overpass on the on this very tournament, but. Here's to getting to see a lot more of Overpass in the matches to come. The match is live. Let's jump straight into the action. OG, take it away.
It's gonna be Playmaker 5, starting off on the CT side. It's an uncomfortable setup towards toilets, though, as Sodium has not given any kind of backup, but boy, is he stepping up to the play, doing a decent bit of damage on a deception as well, downing this to a 3 versus 3. The rotations coming in from both the back and the front lines. Lucifer needs to be quite fast, though. The nade isn't going to be there in the nick of time, does a lot of damage. Deception now down to 30 HP, and Lucifer starting to close in on the back lines. Master G, just a tad bit too late. Lucifer, though, impeccable timing from his flank. Beautiful cleanup crew from VECTORZ. PlayMakerS, they did get control of the site, but they were not really in position where they could even set up for the post plant. A very quick flank from VECTORZ, although in my opinion it did take a little time. I think something that PlayMaker could have done a little differently there is plant the bomb as soon as they get the site. They took a lot of time between getting the bomb towards site and taking the site itself, which VECTORZ completely were able to capitalize upon.
Yep, the CTs take the pistol round. Did look a little shaky there on the A hold up towards toilets, initially losing the couple of frags early on, but what a retake there. 3v3 with no casualties whatsoever. The T's, a few upgraded pistols thrown in the mix here to try and keep things interesting, but VECTORZ by and large...
Oh, what?
Okay. I was gonna say, by and large, this should be a pretty straightforward round, but that might all change here. Does come down even Stevens at the moment. Baba the Beast is gonna get a lot of work done with that stolen M4. OG.
This is turning out to be one disastrous round for VECTORZ. That MP9, though, being put to good use. PlayMakerS have bought distraction by hitting that beast at a nick of time, causing the rotation from VECTORZ. The only plus point here is VECTORZ have a lot of utility, so not as much sweat required to be distracted. That nade! It's disgustingly good. Sadly, the Deagles from PlayMakerS have more than enough in them to topple this round. VECTORZ with a very questionable start. I was gonna say, why did Zoid not even look towards Monster when not even look towards Shot Sewers when he's gonna push it? Didn't make as much sense, most of the engagements they've taken, and PlayMakerS were in the perfect position to deliver the hard punish.
1-1, the Deagles go to work. Their VECTORZ caught napping on the anti-eco, and looks like they're going to be back on the pistols themselves, and they're going to continue to aggress up through long. Let's see if this pays off. They are coming in with the numbers, the drive-by with the MP9. Deception finds a kill through the smoke as well. Everything going the way of PlayMakerS, and this should be a comfortable anti-eco.
It does seem like it, Shade, where VECTORZ started off the game with a win on the pistol. PlayMakerS are returning right back to them with the big guns. It's all left on a Master G with the P2000. You don't see many players opt in for the P2000, Shade. You know, we both have very contrasting game styles. Almost everything about us might be contrasting when it comes to in-game. You use the USP, where I use the P2000. What do you think are some of the points where people can pick up on having a wider. Do you think that using both the P2000, the USB, the M4A1, and the M4A4 is something important, or what do you feel about it? What's your opinion on the selection between the silenced guns and the just bulldozers that the CTs do have in their arsenal?
I think completely keeping aside the nuances of the weapon itself, I think it pretty much comes down to personal choice and what weapon you're comfortable on. There's certain weapons that in theory do seem better in a particular given situation, but I think it relies a lot more on the fact that you're very comfortable with the gun itself in the first place over some mathematical numbers that have a different story to tell. But that being said, it's going to be another rundown by PlayMakerS straight into the pistols. VECTORZ with that B stack. PlayMakerS don't give two hoots, they charge in regardless and are able to mow them down with the rifles. The gun round coming though for VECTORZ, a big one at that. AWP out as well into the hands of Sodium.
This is going to be a very crucial time for VECTORZ. If they don't make this op setup work, it's going to cost them a lot in terms of the early game, where PlayMakerS will be able to get a lot of momentum under the bag, and a lot of grounds covered before the first half does come to a logical conclusion. And now with the rush towards B, this is absolutely turning the pace up a notch. Gladiator though, beautiful finish from Lucifer. The defense rings in tandem as they're able to get the two-man advantage. The reply though, instantaneous. PlayMakerS in a position where they take that initial duel, but they're ready to punish the reaction coming in from VECTORZ. The present towards connector and mid gets completely dissimulated, and now VECTORZ are in an uncomfortable 3 versus 3, I must add, because PlayMakerS has utility, they have time, they might not be as well equipped in the weaponry department, but I'm sure that they have more than in them to recover the situation and make the best out of it. The one plus point I see for VECTORZ though is no flashes on PlayMakerS, so they need to play contact essentially.
Yeah, they go in one by one. They get the initial trade out. Master G's position has been given away as well. He goes for the peek up, goes for the face, and it's all down to Deception here to try and make this happen. Not going to be the case. Master G with 3 kills on that B hold. And VECTORZ right back in this matchup, OG.
Yeah, that is just heads-up play from Master G, securing the B side all by his lonesome. He made it look that easy, Sheet, but in reality, he pulled off a 1 versus 3 right there. So, pretty commendable stuff. Now we see where he gets his name for his team. I mean, for himself, Master G. Schooling PlayMakerS for now. It's given VECTORZ a fighting chance, right, in the beginning to deny PlayMakerS that advantage. Obviously, considering the way the PlayMakerS did take the past 2 rounds, they have a massive economy backing them. So it's going to be a lot more that VECTORZ have to do to derail this PlayMakerS game. But now, White Zoid has been looking questionable from the very start. Not gonna lie, his pushes have not been favoring him as much in terms of timing. And hey, those are players, there are players where they're willing to take that risk reward, right? I think a more famous and notorious one would be a player like, let's say, JW. He's known for his hyper-aggressive style. He's known for those like gangster plays, which you don't see many players making because the risk reward is completely. Oh! Alright, talk about risk reward. Sodium with a peak that really shouldn't pan out, but Asbuster was trying to clear close. So, beautiful job from VECTORZ.
Yeah, and their boost gets spotted out. Sodium is tapping up. Massive here. C4 towards long. He's smoked out at the moment, but he's already done his fair share of work here, guarding that A side down. They are going to commit here though with the flashbangs, the push in with the C4. There's a push that's going to come in through the smoke, but Sodium still holds his ground down and Reborn able to find Master G, and now they have a way back in this 2v3. In comes the Molotov towards back, forces Sodium even further behind. They're forcing the issue here. Gladiator, can he spot the player? Yes, he does. Reborn goes down and Deception left with an all to do. 1v3. Can he find the first? He does. Takes the offer down. Gladiator turn back around. He gets one. But does he spot the turnaround? That just almost makes it happen, OG. But Gladiator. able to hold it for VECTORZ 1v3. He almost pulls off a blinder of a clutch there, but the CTs, they're gonna feel relieved after that, OG.
You know that meme, right, where you bump your elbow into like a corner and your entire nervous system goes into a state of resonance?
That was
It
pretty
felt
much
like
it.
that for a second. I hope I've given a fair description because for a second, VECTORZ might have just lost their mind there. They're like, what in the absolute hell do I need to do to kill this man? Sometimes it's that mental toll, right, where you're asserting yourself with your aim. You're trying to make the enemy doubt themselves in their head. That's exactly what PlayMakerS are doing. Your beautiful display of mechanical prowess as of yet on the T side, but VECTORZ, they've been close. The only problem is they've not been as dominant as you'd like to be on the CT side. When you're on the CT side of Overpass, you'd like to play aggressive. You'd like to get these aggressive crossfires set in stone. And that's why you double zoom. Assbuster, just out of nowhere, swoops into those DMs and takes the kill. A clean Zoe. He's been relatively missing from the start of the half, but he's finally delivered. Coming in with 2 massive kills, that makes this a doable situation for VECTORZ. PlayMakerS, though, playing so proactive, playing aggressively through all sides of the map. Lucifer to regain control of the B side, but that's exactly where PlayMakerS are headed. Lucifer is down at 70 HP as well, so there's no way that he can afford to go aggressive. Utility disposed of. Abstract. Oh, that could have been a kill. That could have turned the odds, and the double Molotov. Nachi, he's been quick to force the issue, though. He's expected to flash towards Pillar. He's trying to mask his position, but PlayMakerS are playing this one to perfection. They know that they're low HP, and a bait and switch is exactly what might win them this round. Hey, who needs the bait? Abstracts them a clean house. 2 kills apiece for the duo, and Reborn with a kill in as well. And PlayMakerS, this is such aggressive play on the T side that you just love to see, right? You have no kind of reliability on the CT side of any kind of safety, even if you're playing towards site. That's something that VECTORZ can't afford. They need to be comfortable to pull off a CT side. And to pull off a good CT side, you need to be aggressive, which for now just simply will not be the case.
Yep, the 1v2 there at the end. So many angles to worry about for the CTs, and PlayMakerS take the lead 4-3. The CTs unfortunately have almost nothing to invest in this round. They're gonna go for the B stack as 5, nothing towards A, and the push here through toilets as well as A long is gonna send them into an empty bomb site real soon, OG.
Very well might, Shade, because VECTORZ, they don't have any Mac 10s to be wary of, right? PlayMakerS are not going for that economy play right now. They're going for the more conservative and safe approach, where they don't risk the round in general. Having all AKs is good. It's more consistent is what I'd like to say. Less rewarding, though, than the Mac 10. Right now, if VECTORZ are able to at least get 2 kills, it'll be massive. Well, they're chipping at it. That's exactly what they need to be doing in a round like this, where things are stacked against them, and you take the long journey step by step, right? 2 players are dangerously tagged, though. Baba, a little bit of a choke. Cannot afford to give away his frag as well. VECTORZ, right now, they have only P250s. They can just throw numbers and bodies at PlayMakerS and try getting another frag, which they have. They made this costly for the T side without a doubt. And VECTORZ will be able to invest into the next round in quick ease ass. Oh. If there was another kill there, Shade, I'd say VECTORZ would have done more than enough. Now, they could go on the investment, but it won't look all that great. They'll be missing a lot of significant utility towards the later segment of the round. So if they're going to force up, they need to play aggressive.
Five to 3 PlayMakerS, 2-round lead. VECTORZ, their money is still kind of broke. Just a few flashbangs to work with, and PlayMakerS, they're gonna go for a swift B hit. There's quite a bit of numbers towards short here, and Buster ends up going down early, but normalcy is restored as the charge through towards the B bomb site only finds The 2 kills for them, 1v3 Zoid with the P250 in hand. This round should be going the way of PlayMakerS relatively easily unless Zoid can pull off a miraculous clutch, which the numbers are stacked against him at the moment. He still managed to find one.
Wow. All right. You know, for anyone who's just tuning in, they just missed out on an amazing game of Dust 2, where it showed the significance of having a strong economy, right, to build momentum. Right now, VECTORZ are doing a really good job at denying PlayMakerS that economy and giving them a lot of comfort to walk into. Because if they win this round, a lot of money will be burnt out by PlayMakerS to make it a viable buy. Because Reborn and Deception have barely any money left in them. Right now, I'd say it's the time to strike because the rod's hot and VECTORZ need to start getting these rounds. We've seen Overpass on multiple occasions favor the CT side in terms of aggression. We've not seen much of that from VECTORZ, right? It's been them on a very passive stance. We've not seen aggressive crossfires taken. The only time we actually did see aggression was in the second round, where they tried to get aggressive at B-Shore, and they got punished as well just due to not being as wary enough during the entire push. VECTORZ have a lot of ground to cover. They have a lot of things to recover. And right now, they need to have a very positive attitude. The timeout did obviously help them to a great extent. Let's see what is different right now, Shade. Let's see what's going to change the game here for VECTORZ. The nade, I guess it speaks for itself. The early utility does grant them a lot of information that there is nobody towards mid. There's been a lot of pressure that's been applied to the B defense, and at this point, our VECTORZ is going to be accustomed enough to delve deep within themselves and try to fend off PlayMakerS at their attempt to take B yet again, because that seems to be the trend right now, Shade.
Utility is key, and Reborn gets the opener towards the B-bomb side. The boost from Master G is key here. He's possibly hurt, but he ends up dropping down at the worst possible time. He's getting pushed with a lot of utility, and they've got no answers to the T aggression. They're getting picked apart one by one. 1v4 for Sodium and VECTORZ. That defense just crumbled in the blink of an eye, OG. Sodium hits the first shot, but the call has come in to save. He has the kit, he has a flashbang smoke, but 1v3, they're hunting him down at the moment. He hits another nutty shot though. Thinning the numbers from PlayMakerS, they're still in pursuit.
He has a little time left, not a lot certainly, but that fade flash was all over the place. Gave away essentially when he was gonna peak. Sodium should be able to save us off, Shade, and this has been one successful savings. Again, kept the economy of PlayMakerS very humble. They'll have to reinvest, which will be a significant amount of their economy down the drain again. VECTORZ still have it in them, Shade. They still have a good chance of turning the ship around. The only problem is the wind's slowly starting to turn direction, and if the wind and the sail don't align, it's going to be quite the rough ride for VECTORZ, especially considering that this is single elimination yet again, Shade. Their backs soon are going to be pressed against the wall, and you just absolutely cannot deal with that kind of pressure, right?
Yeah, the peak towards mid from Sodium, and he hits another amazing shot, regardless of VECTORZ not doing that great in the early rounds. This man has been an absolute beast here, continuing to bring in the magic with the big green. The spot towards long from Zoid. He ends up going down, and Sodium's down as well. Zoid, he's got a lot of work to do, and he's fumbling on this spray. A moment of brilliance from Sodium, but that was pretty much it, OG. No follow-up from the rest of his teammates there, and as soon as that AWP goes down, it's PlayMakerS back.
Right now, VECTORZ really need a timeout. They need to start thinking about how you need to approach this differently, because for PlayMakerS, the game plan is very simple, right? They play very passive towards the start of the round. They know that the push is going to come in. They get that initial kill, and after that initial kill, it starts to act like a domino for VECTORZ defense, where they all fall single file in successive fashion, which you cannot absolutely allow on the CT side. You need instant refrags. You need things like crossfires to be set in place. If it's going to be the similar trend repeat, I doubt we'll have the momentum swing that we were anticipating for in a game like this. It feels like playmakers are simply, like you said, looking to be more of the favorite side, looking a little more experienced, and looking to be more of a well-oiled machine than VECTORZ are, and that's just the simple fact of the scoreboard right now. The only problem here is VECTORZ still have a chance. So you can't count them out completely, especially if you're playmakers. Always expect the unexpected goes the old saying, and let's see if VECTORZ are able to turn this around. They've gone on the investment shade. They are pretty bankrupt at this moment. Not even a single defuse kit. If it goes down to the bomb plant, playmakers are going to have a huge advantage here.
It will indeed, and it's just a few upgraded SMGs on 3 of the 5 CTs. Not the ideal weaponry you want going up against the AKs. They're going to push through Gladiator point blank range, playing contact. Is not going to be able to find much. An MTP bomb site to run into. Barber finds Lucifer up at connector, and that's probably the round done and dusted. Here's Sodium. Is he even going to try and force this? He gets the opener not before he gets tagged down to 19 HP, 2v3. The call comes in to save, and playmakers continue to roll with the punches, 9 and 3, and this lead continues to get bigger and bigger.
Exactly, Shade. Playmakers are just too brutal on that T side for now. VECTORZ, what do you feel like they need to do differently here, Shade? How do you feel like they need to approach this one? Because they've tried playing aggressive, didn't work. They tried playing passive, it didn't work. They feel like they need to try going in for those gimmicky plays now, perhaps a boost that B-short. But I've seen playmakers having that tendency to exploit B-short as much as they humanly can. If that punish comes in, do you feel like it could be the start of maybe the resurgence on the CT side?
Yeah, I think they've got to try and do whatever they can to get the initial few frags, because playmakers almost every single time have been able to force the early duel go in their favor, and VECTORZ more likely than not have always been playing catch up. And like you said, if it's down to a gimmicky play, so be it. They need to try something here to tip the balance of the scales in their favor. The flashbang almost blinds Sodium to get him to run into a wall himself. They're hitting a Zoid, forces. He spots out quite a few players heading his way, but do they know this basket team position as well? The spray through the smoke has done decent bit of damage here. Zoid holds the push through as well. He's not spotted Beast initially, and Abstract's just gonna go continuing to push through with the C4. Hands it on a silver platter here onto Zoid, but the tag team bait and switch still works out, gets them the C4, but it's still a doable situation for VECTORZ. 2v2, C4 recovered. Playmakers have control of playground.
This is turning out to be one hard-fought round. VECTORZ, it's been a while from since they've even been in a position where it looks like they're contesting, right? Now they're in a position where they can finally turn the tides and maybe redeem the half shade. There's a lot of utility on the belt for playmakers, and they can set themselves up for the post-plan comfortably as well. Considering that VECTORZ are playing this one a split, Lucifer cannot afford to overextend even a teeny bit your playmakers. A lot of it's going to be on them. Buster could have found that kill, Shade, but they have information. The rotation's coming in. The bomb is being planted. Post-plan's gonna be a little tough though, because Baba has literally no room to try and get a post-plan. He tries his very best. Lucifer denied though on the second, and now Buster recovering in the 1v1. Trying to set himself up with the post-plan, faking the push towards shot, whereas he's gonna hold the long tunnels, but Gladiator! This is why they love to fight. They use all their might, and playmakers denied that 10 round. They're double digits essentially on the board. VECTORZ though, a crucial timing to get this round, because if they're able to secure the remainder of the half, this might just be what sets them back in the right direction, Shade. Playmakers, they have enough dough in the oven to get yet another buy, but it seems like they've already had more than their fair share of pie. Now they're going for more. Playmakers have not attempted much in terms of connector and a short. I just fear the worst for VECTORZ once we see the diversity what playmakers bring into, especially given how strong their A side hit potentially could be.
Look at Zoid though, he holds long up at tree. It's a common angle to check, but Zoid can go big here. Reborn gets taken out. He did give him an opportunity to readjust back out, but no challenge coming in just yet. Instead, they're going to turn their focus towards the B side, held right down by Gladiator as well as Lucifer. Lucifer's playing at contact at monster entrance, and he's going to find a greedy.
Yeah, it might just be the play that saves Vector a little bit of skin. Lucifer, though, on the aggressive start, the flash actually blinds Playmaker, and he has an nade to follow up. This is going horrible now. The B shot push just crumbles on its feet. They've fallen back here. They've realized that time is right now not a factor that they need to worry about. Rather, it's bodies, and it's just being thrown at them alongside bullets. Down 1 versus 3. Deception needs to come up with the quad kill clutch to go absolutely massive and beyond. He has the bomb here, so VECTORZ are still gonna be in rotation. Deception needs to clear towards sandbags. He gets sandwiched and he gets sent packing home. 5-9. PlayMakerS on the verge of being denied double digits. The last round of the half, it's only Buster who has any kind of money whatsoever. Abstract and Deception should be able to invest without a doubt. Buster, do you think in this situation you'd prefer Buster to get the op, or would you rather have him drop 2 AKs and go alongside a little bit of utility? Because if he goes op and drops an AK, he'd surely not have money for utility. What do you think is the plan here, Shade? What do you think PlayMakerS need now to overcome the small resistance posted by VECTORZ?
PlayMakerS, I think they've pretty much sat back and let VECTORZ take control of the map early on. They've been playing a lot slower than they used to in the initial few rounds, and I think anyway, this is the last round of the first half. Their money, by the looks of things, is not going to be great coming into this. They've got 3 AKs, a Deagle on Baba, and Abstract's actually yet to buy.
Oh,
I'm guessing,
I just hope that does not disconnect, because this is the worst possible time for him. A very crucial round in the first half, which could potentially dictate how the game's gonna go. And doesn't seem like Abstract's gonna make it back. He will not be able to invest as well. And Abstract, mind you, was the one with the money, so Playmaker being a man shot and being a gunshot at the same time, this is not the start that PlayMakerS came in expecting. VECTORZ, I really like this adapting. Oh no, Reborn! This is why you do not really go for a late boost to a shot. You never really know if someone's gonna hold that angle. With you being as exposed as you are, no accuracy while jumping, you essentially are a sitting duck in that situation. PlayMakerS, they were, I'd say, half a man down, but now they might just be able to make their way back. Sodium, he spots Baba. Mind you, Baba only has the Deagle, but he's in a good range to make it work. Sodium, though, with the op, precise as ever, lands the bag, and now the man advantage. PlayMakerS on the push, but they are just getting assimilated piece by piece. Zoid, wait, what happened to him? This is a disaster! VECTORZ giving the game away, and now PlayMakerS setting up for the post plan, a 2 versus 2. Abstract, he might be low without armor, but he has the op. That's more than enough to keep a man up and kicking. Deception, most of this retake effort that he needs to dismantle is going to be on him. Abstract is playing in a very exposed position, though, not a position that you'd really like, especially from an opera who does not have armor. He cannot afford to take a clear fight, but the Eagle is more than enough. Master G discovered, and now Deception's gonna cover the clothesline swing. There is absolutely no play that he can make that disrupts the PlayMakerS. 10-5, PlayMakerS not denied double digits.
PlayMakerS, they played good. The last couple of rounds, they've been at fault for not checking every angle. The last time we saw that push through Monster, they did not check the angle close, giving away a couple of free frags, allowing the CTs to not only get the numbers on their side, but also to stall VECTORZ long enough, PlayMakerS long enough rather, for the rotates to come through. But there, That was nicely done. Despite Sodium picking up the initial 2 frags, it didn't let that get to them as much. They were able to isolate those duels, eventually dropping the CTs on site and getting themselves into good post plants. 10-5, the all-important pistol round. PlayMakerS lose the man early, but Baba the Beast can go big here, OG.
Oh,
and he
no.
comes up empty-handed. The A site.
This is looking quite promising for VECTORZ right now. They really needed this round trade. I can't emphasize on that enough. Because PlayMakerS, if this round was under their belt, it essentially would have been the game. They've set themselves up beautifully to take the pistol under their belt, but the smoke and rebound playing on the back of it. Oh, he's with big time! Sodium, that's gotta be feeling a little salty at the end. Deception. Alongside Abstracts, quick to the response, but not made any offense so far. Deception in a 1 versus 5. He goes down inevitably. 10-6. VECTORZ coming in with a really, really crucial round that really sets the pace for their resurgence. Because right now, PlayMakerS, all they need to do is 1 eco and a little bit damage, I'd say, in this round. They'd be good to buy. Won't be the best of buys, but it'd be in a situation where VECTORZ won't be allowed any chance to get back in this game. Only in the X Factor that they close that round out.
Looks like Gladiators are gonna go for this A and Playground connector split early on, while the CTs go for the boost with the pistols towards the B bomb site. The 5-man stack again completely evaded by VECTORZ right now as they take control of toilets.
At this point, PlayMakerS just trying to test their luck. Knock on wood, maybe. Nothing found as of yet, and VECTORZ, they're gonna be more than happy, right? Keeping as many players alive, not losing much in terms of economy, and having the bomb plant safe and secured. If this MAC-10 gets any more kills straight, it'd be a huge problem for PlayMakerS to deal with later on. And I think the jump might have just given their position away. Master G! Oh, you did not like that. You absolutely did not like to be hit by the sun don't shine. The MAC-10 picked up. Not as effective on the CT side, just due to the fact that no armor. I mean, with armor, it really doesn't pack that big of a punch. And VECTORZ, you can see how patient they are. They're not even attempting this. Their discipline will reward them in terms of their economy being grown significantly. And the way back into this game is having a strong economy and a mentality heading in, because they're having quite the journey ahead of them, Shade, but a long and an interesting journey is far more exciting than a hard fought out and very iffy journey. VECTORZ, they're trying to build a base here. PlayMakerS, are they going to invest though? What do you think a team should do in this situation, Shade? Do you think it's a more conventional choice, ecoing, or is it a rational choice to invest? Because you obviously have the M4s out. You do compromise heavily on the utility department though, especially on the CT side. Defensive utility is a huge demand, considering that B and A long are very vulnerable positions that PlayMakerS cannot contest that easily.
Yeah, looks like they're going to take early control of short, and there are numbers here from the CTs as well towards the B site. Looks like the B shot control is taken early, but they're not really looking to force the issue here, OG.
You end up getting the first frag though, and no refrag from VECTORZ. This is a little strange. PlayMakerS with the advantage. As soon as given, they're taken back. Master G aggresses and finds Buster, who mind you was the solo aggressive player towards A. I've said this on multiple occasions, Shade. I love to see aggression on a map like Overpass, but I don't like to see aggression like this, where it costs your team a really important man advantage, and ultimately without any safety per se. Because if you get aggressive together, there's at least some bag of safety, right? You have a little certainty in terms of how much ground you need to cover, and you don't need to do it all by yourself. So just an absolute beast rushing down B side like it's just another day. He's just taking them to the fray. Zoid extends it as well. The two-man advantage through the wall. Would you have it any other way, Shade? Master G, he's been having a really great game today. 12 frags, but all these frags certainly do look really flashy, although not as high impact. In fact, it's Sodium who's carrying his team. 22 frags in 19 rounds. Going heads and beyond Shade, without a doubt.
All right, 10-8 PlayMakerS. Their 5-round lead at the start of the match has been cut down all the way to 3. Reborn with the pistol finds the first one. He's got the flashbang set up. Unfortunately, he's not able to fall back as Sodium gets the refrag back. 3v3. Sodium holds the angle, but the Deagle going to work there. 2v4.
A chance here for PlayMakerS to perhaps topple the guns. VECTORZ, very slim margin of error. How didn't he spot Abstract there? Zoid, along Master G, trying to coordinate this hit. They need it down. Abstract, finally they do. It's like trying to whack-a-mole. The plant, very exposed. Zoid, why is he not giving cover? Oh, that could have gone from very bad to so bad that he might not be able to recover, but the nade from Master G on point. For a second there, my heart skipped a beat. Luckily, VECTORZ managed to stabilize theirs and managed to get this round under their belt. 9-10, PlayMakerS. They've done real good to secure a huge lead in the first half, but they've not been able to do jack from since the second started. In fact, it's been VECTORZ who've been on quite the spree. 4 rounds ever since the pistol pickup. They've been the one on cruise control. They've been the one who've been dictating as to how this game's going to proceed. And now, PlayMakerS, 1 timeout left in the bag and 1 round until VECTORZ hit an equalizer. And VECTORZ have 4 timeouts remaining, Shade. They are absolutely choking PlayMakerS out of fresh air in the second half. VECTORZ with the buy as well. PlayMakerS, their economy is looking not as great as you'd expect, because another round lost with this double up investment, and they're going to be staring down the barrel of something quite gruesome, something that you would not like to see on a Monday afternoon.
Looks like both these teams are pretty comfortable on the CT side. The T side being pretty shaky in the first half from VECTORZ, and now PlayMakerS almost mirroring the same sentiment here, as VECTORZ are just 1 round away from leveling things up. Buster with the AWP towards toilets. Baba holding down connector. No early push coming in just yet, but Buster is soon gonna get pushed by multiple T's heading his way. They're checking the angle down. Baba is in fact going to retreat all the way back towards side. So is Buster. They've given up the aggressive positions and toilet control back over to the T's.
You certainly have, Shade. PlayMakerS, the more they draw this down to the wire, is the less uncomfortable it's going to get for them, because they have very low defensive utility. They, in fact, have none. It's only a couple of flashes and a few nades. You really can't afford a defender side with this kind of utility set. VECTORZ, they've done a very, very good job of boiling down this time and keeping their personal utility up as well. It's going to be a lot under the ballsy plays that PlayMakerS need to commit to make this one work, which is high risk, high reward trade, but VECTORZ are well aware of the risk. It's a fake that they're trying to sell. The rotation's brought in 3 men towards the A side. Now the collapse on towards B. Abstract needed to have his gun out. Reborn! He is absolutely taking them to town with the nade. VECTORZ, they tried to be as gimmicky as they might, but at the end of the day, PlayMakerS set up the perfect crossfire to dismantle the play the VECTORZ were going for there. That was perhaps the only way that worked, or else things could have very well turned out to be a different story. And hey, we've talked a lot about how PlayMakerS have not been having time to resurge themselves in the half, and that timeout really helped them. Well, VECTORZ are like, You use that medicine, we're gonna use it as well. We're gonna use it against you. Let's see what happens. VECTORZ, more than enough money to reinvest, more than enough time to recompose themselves, and they've covered so much ground that they seem to be in touching distance of PlayMakerS' tails.
11-9. The CT's finally able to pull a round back in the nick of time before VECTORZ. We're gonna level things up, but PlayMakerS, they need to continue building up the economy on their side and preventing VECTORZ from continuing to do what they have in the initial 4 rounds so far. AWP, in fact, 2 of them picked up onto Deception as well as Buster. Right now, early control of B-Shot again from Sodium as well as Gladiator. The CT is more than happy to sit back and not challenge this. No cheeky boosts going in either to try and go on the offensive. Could have landed them in some soup with VECTORZ kind of throwing in utility to counter that. They do have control of connector here. No push coming in just yet. Lucifer playing it as slow as he can, checking every single corner.
The bomb is in an iffy position. It's all the way back in T-spawn with a minute left on the clock. They've perhaps had their mind set towards this B take without understanding that PlayMakerS have 3 men in fact stacked the trades. They favor PlayMaker for now, a 2 versus 4 shade. VECTORZ, it seems like they got the momentum back into this game, but it feels like as soon as they were in touching distance of something promising, the gas ran out of the van. Master G is all that's left in a 1 versus 4, an almost undoable situation. Rightfully so goes down, 12-9. PlayMakerS finally recovering from what I'd consider just bad omen. So far, on their CT side, things weren't looking all that great, but they've turned the ship around. This is the hallmark of what we'd consider a really good team, right? The ability to find good in bad and bad in good as well. Because at the end of the day, that's what guides you the right path out the tunnel.
PlayMakerS, they're playing it very cautious right now. They're no longer taking those early peaks for, oh, that shot out at mid, and Baba the Beast is holding down from connector. Can he find the third?
No.
Completely all over the place there. And Buster, USP, he's going to pull that out. AWP in, and he's still getting pushed out from the corner. Goes for the flick, misses it out, tries the quick scope as well. To no avail. It's come down to a 2v2, and Deception can't afford to miss those again, OG.
Push through connector though, that's what's gonna be the massive play. I think Abstract even heard the play through long, which mind you is the bomb. So a huge deal of information given away from VECTORZ without them knowing. Because now Deception has all the information to play out of. He's chosen a very conservative angle as well. The risk of being double peaked is very low, and he knows what's headed his way. Beautiful lineup on the first. He knows the aggression's coming. The no scope, it doesn't connect. The Macton just runs him down. It's the tech 9 in fact, but Abstract, he's been more than patient with his trigger and with his footstep. He completely catches Lucifer off guard, and that's the last thing the Demon can expect. 13-9, PlayMakerS, 3 rounds away from getting this one in the bag. The start of the half felt very questionable shade, but their recovery that seems promising. VECTORZ still yet to tap into double digits territory. They've invested everything into this buy shade. It's only Master G who has ample leftovers. For PlayMakerS, this is the round where they can finally finish this game off and not be in risk's way. VECTORZ, a play to its connector, but it's not working out. Buster with the EOP playing aggressive, but this is the crunch though. The time is what's against PlayMakerS. They are standing up to the test. Beautiful flick. Buster triple kill with the EOP. This is the shutdown. VECTORZ, the cord's been pulled, the strat's been called, and PlayMakerS might have just about done enough here. Buster, AWP prowess towards connectors, CQC far close. Who cares what the range is? Give this man an op and he will deliver results. It's all left on Azoi. He needs to ace it to win it. But that seems like a prospect already far-fetched shade. VECTORZ, things just not starting to look pretty bleak for them now.
It is. He's completely cornered here. Almost no opportunity back in the game. He finds the first, but an immediate trade from Deception. PlayMakerS 2 rounds away from knocking out VECTORZ. They're going to use one of the 2 timeouts remaining. Their money is all over the place here again, but they're going to have no choice but to force buy into this one. Galil's, SMGs, AKs are all they're going to have. They might even have to sacrifice some Galils and pick up the SMGs to ensure that they have enough utility to pull something off here, and that's exactly going to be the case. The 2 Mac 10s on Gladiator and Punisher signals only one thing, OG. It means you're going to have to find early pickoffs to neutralize the weapon disadvantage. And PlayMakerS, the way they've been playing so far, Buster stepping up huge with the AWP. He's gotten himself all the way up to 19 frags. The CT's backs against, the T's rather, backs against the wall. Can they make this mix buy work, OG?
Yeah, I think the door opening would make it pretty evident that the rush towards B is imminent. The Molotov will deny Abstract to aggress through waters, which might allow the bomb to go down in safety. Baba, though, absolutely massive kill through the smoke. This has been the tendency, right? PlayMakerS are living up to their name. They're making plays all across the map, and they might even fancy themselves a ninja. The backlines are closing in on VECTORZ, and Master G needs to provide results. That's simply not the case. So it goes down. Buster busting it here with the op. Gladiator coming in from the backstab, but position should be discovered. They are in close proximity though, but the time, a huge factor for the clutch. 15-9. This might be the lights out for VECTORZ. Their only saving grace there was the bomb plant. They have a small chance, Shade, but it's just a slither of hope left in the jar for them to work with. PlayMakerS have 6 match and map points to work with, Shade. It's not looked this bleak for VECTORZ, and I doubt that PlayMakerS had a comfortable path here. They had a lot to recover in the second half. They started the half 10-5, but it got to the point where they were losing every single round in the opening segment. They've done really good in recovery, Shade, not letting steam loose. Baba, he spotted the fallback towards connector. There's an aggressive stance at B long as well. Buster can call for early rotations. This has all the recipe of PlayMakerS taking this one, Shade. It's been a long journey for VECTORZ, but sadly, this might just be the end. The man disadvantage as well is just the fresh air being removed from there. So the push all the way through T base, in fact, tracks downs the bomb with 50 seconds left on the clock. That limits how much ground that VECTORZ can cover. Sodium is tasked with retrieving the C4 while Reborn holds to its connector. 40 seconds left. With that kill to its connector, it opens up a small window of possibility for VECTOR to make their way back into this round. They're gonna regroup. The push towards A is futile. PlayMakerS on the verge of taking this one home. Deception holding on towards the aggressive stance. It's all on a Sodium. A 1 versus 3 now required as he takes Deception down. But position noted. PlayMakerS on the rotation, and Sodium's coffin already awaiting him. Abstract, in fact, waiting with a knife out. The bait bought, but Abstract goes down. They've thrown this round away. No, they haven't. The time is far too low. 16-9, PlayMakerS. Beautiful stuff on the CG side. Able to regain control of the half. And VECTORZ, they look so dry after the success that they got initially.
Yeah, they did, OG. That was VECTORZ kind of starting very slow. In fact, only managing to pick up, if I'm not mistaken, 5 rounds in the first half. But PlayMakerS completely lost the plot there on the second part of the second half. It was VECTORZ strong on the defense, and props to Buster. I think he had a phenomenal CT side with the AWP stepping up.
Even the section for that fact, alongside that double up setup, really did put a dent in the T side offense, which never really caught on as soon as the double up was in play.
Indeed, man. As Deception 18 frags, Buster on 23, and Abstracts on 21, stepping it up massive. On the other side, though, it was Sodium alone, 27, 4, and 17. The second highest frags was 14 frags, 27. He always was double the rest compared to the second highest on his team. He went huge in the first half, but it was all for nothing. Unfortunately, PlayMakerS bow out of the Dell Futurist presents Alienware LevelUp Challenge, while VECTORZ continue to move on to the round of 64. It's been an absolute blast today. Two super close matches that went back and forth the entire way around. Thanks so much for joining us, OG. It's been a pleasure. A huge shout out to Dell Gaming and Alienware for bringing out a huge opportunity here for gamers who are looking to take up their passion in gaming and convert that into a career down the road. Go ahead and register for the Dell Futurist program. Also, do check out their mentor sessions online as well. It's available on their Instagram handle. There's a brand new Alienware laptop as well as a Dell Gaming G series laptop coming out as well. So do follow their socials for updates on that. For now though, we have come to the end of day number 3. We'll be back again tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. with more CSGO action for you. Until then, this is Shade Sayer and OG signing off. See you folks tomorrow.